What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about two different cryptos today. We're going to talk about Toshi and Turbo. We'll talk about Toshi first and then Turbo, giving accurate price predictions on both of them. Hit the like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, you guys. It is the first day of November. Here we are at about $0.00068 right now, with roughly 9 hours left in the day. Moving down a little bit, it's no fun, but here we are on the Toshi 3 chart. It's the all-time history chart for Toshi. We're going to look at that, but I want to look at the short-term stuff first. Okay, the 1 hour time frame here. We do look a little bit weak here, and actually looking at this overall from like this kind of perspective, you know, dropping down like this and then consolidating like this, that would make me think that we have lower to go, but that doesn't mean that we have lower to go. You know, we could go lower, but I'm really thinking that we're closer to a low point rather than a going lower point, but we'll see. And actually, for this part, maybe I should use Coinbase because it has volume. Right, we're not really getting any volume picking up on this breakout. It's still fresh, so let's see how it develops. Right, a little bit of volume last hour, but not a whole lot of volume on this breakout. We still have higher lows overall, and while the RSI is bearish, right, there is some bearish stuff to take into consideration here. You're living predominantly below the 50. You're not getting above the 60 at all. You're not getting into the overbought zone at all. But whereas before you were getting oversold, now you're starting to not get oversold. That to me is a sign that we actually might be turning around here. And we did have a downtrend, right? We did have this lower low, lower high trend here, of which I would say we've broken out of. We're back into it now, sort of, but we have broken out of it already. I'm skeptical of really calling for Toshi to go too much lower, at least at this point. Let's see how this video goes, okay? Stochastics are at an area to bounce, and the MACD, while it did just reject the zero, you're actually at an area to bounce too and continue, but we'll see if you do. 4 hour time frame, zooming out a little bit here. The 4 hour does make me think we go lower. It makes me think that we probably go below 3066, go just below there, find a lower low here with a higher low in the RSI, bullish divergence, boom. Stochastics make me think we go lower. And the MACD doesn't necessarily make me think we'll go lower. It just says we can go lower. We'll provide bullish divergence, and then boom. So all of these indicators are actually set up for bullish divergence if we get a 4 hour time frame to close below about 3066. So I'm thinking we do that. The 1 hour time frame was kind of indecisive, gave me some reasons to have hope, but to be fair, looking at this here, I think that we do go a little bit lower. Does that mean that we go below this low? No, not necessarily. I'm just calling for prices to go below 3066 for now, okay? Stochastics on the 4 hour are really the giveaway, in my opinion. That really does look like we want to go lower, in my opinion. The fact that you've hit the oversold zone, came out of it, and now you're stalling here at the 50, come on back down. Anytime you do that, you typically do come down, you come lower. So if this is a bear flag, here, and I don't know if it is, maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but if it is a bear flag, the way you'd measure it is like this, right, high to low. That bear flag would take us all the way down to 3056. Let's just see if there's anything that lines up down here around this area, right? I did a rough measurement. It doesn't have to be specifically this line, but just something around there, okay? If we're taking like something of significance from a low here on the 17th to the high here, that is your 1414 area. Maybe you go there, your 1272 is just above, and your 1618 is just below. So it's a proper area to go to be fair. If we look at this on a daily time frame, it doesn't really, to me, it wouldn't necessarily make sense to go down there, but if we're looking at this in all fairness, you do have lower lows here. Whoops. Well, let me try and draw this a little bit more accurately. Lower lows there, right? A little bit of lower low action going on. You could do it. Then you find prior support zones here as well. It could happen. Let's look at the Toshi 3 chart. Oh, that's not what I thought we were doing. Toshi 3. There we go. Toshi 3 US. What were we just on? This is a weird. Oh, it's on OKX. Okay. Toshi 3 here. Again, I have a hard time imagining that we drop down that low, but anything's possible, I suppose. Looking at the daily time frame, I want to go back to the 4 hour real quick. Yeah, definitely under the impression that we go lower. I'm definitely under the impression that we go below 3066 at this moment. Daily RSI would suggest so as well, right? You were getting overbought, now you're rejecting the 60. Makes me think that you'd go lower. Stochastics, well, good thing you're in the oversold zone because that, you know, will promote lower prices, but at least tells us that we're near the end of this downward move, I would think. And the MACD being like this, you do have higher lows in the histogram. You do have lower lows in the closing price. So good. You've got bullish divergence built on the daily time frame for the MACD. You have the prospects of bullish divergence to be built on all your indicators on the 4 hour. I don't think Toshi's going to go all the way down below like 306. I don't think it's going to happen. I really don't think you go below this low, but at this point in time, I feel pretty confident that you will go below 3066, right? Isn't that the area? Yeah, 3066, and we'll see, right? If I'm wrong, if we don't go below 3066, prove me wrong by taking out this level here. Let's see, high to low. Get back above on a daily closing basis, not just on a wicking basis, but on a daily closing basis. Get back above 3073. Do that, and if you do that, I'm wrong. If you can't do that, or if you go lower first, then I'm right, right? And I wouldn't, again, even though we have these lower highs here, or sorry, lower lows like this coming in here, I don't think we're going to respect that personally. Is this a megaphone pattern? No, it's not. No, it's not. Anyways, that's Toshi, at least on the short term. 30686 right now, probably going down to 3066 to 30s, let's say 64. That would be my expectation. If you go lower, the lowest I would give you would be about 3055, but I highly doubt that we go down there. Doesn't mean that it can't happen, but I just highly doubt that we do. Overall, looking at this chart, it's a very healthy chart. Oh man, where is it? Where? Hold on. Where is it? Where is it? Binance. Hold on. This one. Binance is listing a low cap meme coin in the next few days. Guess which coin? I wonder if it's Toshi. I'm gonna write Toshi. I'll enter to win $1,000. Because when they say low cap, what do they mean? Do they mean under $1 billion, or do they mean under $100 million? Do they mean under $10 million? I don't know. Toshi's pretty high. It's not really a low cap meme coin whenever I think of it, but it could be in comparison to some meme coins. I don't know. I'm going to say Toshi because I really do have a theory that Toshi's going to get listed on Binance soon. Anyways, looking at the long term stuff, high to low here, maybe that's the catalyst that saves us from going lower. We are grinding out this golden ratio zone. Typically, when you grind out the golden ratio zone, you expect to break it, right? You expect to move through. And I do think that we'll see new all-time highs altogether. The next target areas to really consider are 0.0044. Yes, just 2 zeros, not 3 zeros this time. That's about a 6x move from here to potentially 1 cent itself, which is about a 15x move from here. And I wouldn't be surprised at all if we were in this zone by the end of November. 1 cent and beyond might be more reserved for December and later dates, but that's my thoughts there. So that's Toshi. Let's move on. Let's talk about Turbo. Okay, Turbo here, Turbo USD on Coinbase. Should we use Coinbase? Let's use an all-time historical chart right here. We'll use that for reference, okay? And we'll zoom way the hell in on this too. 1 hour time frame. We got about, 8 hours left in the day? 9 hours, about 9 hours left in the day. 1 hour time frame here. Shaping up nice. You've seen a little bit of a drop recently, haven't you? And that's no fun. That's never fun, but you're shaping up all right. A lot of green on the MACD. That's kind of interesting. I don't know if I like that. Upward sloping trend in the RSI coming down. I don't know if I like this. It kind of looks like you want to push lower. I wonder. Let's look at the 4 hour time frame. I mean, you look good. You look like you want to push higher right now, but just overall, it looks like this move is coming to an end. And if it's coming to an end, you push a little bit higher. You're just finding resistance at prior support. You might go lower. You really might. You've had a long stint of green. You might be overdue for some red. Your stochastics are hot. They could come down. With this cooling off that's about to come, this impending cooling off, I wonder how you're going to hold up. Will you see lower lows or will you see higher lows? I'd like it if you saw higher lows. But let's look at the 4 hour time frame. Maybe there's some other information that we're missing here. So on the 4 hour, there's no bullish divergence. Stochastics are, or the RSI is volatile. The stochastics would suggest that we continue to climb. And the MACD also, I would say, suggests that we continue to climb. The price action from this area, we are finding support at this kind of low level here. Let me draw this line appropriately. Right? Finding support at these lows here, kind of right in this trajectory. It would make sense that we move up. Okay, so I like it. The 4 hour gives me a little bit more hope than the 1 hour. Maybe the 1 hour, it looks like it's at a point where it's going to reverse, but maybe we're just that strong. Maybe we're at a point of like really starting to show some strength, and we'll just continue to get in and out of the overbought zone here, and the MACD will just go on a massive macro trend of just greenness. I don't know. It doesn't take much to flip the 1 hour time frames to cool them off, so we don't really need to move too much to the downside. But 4 hour time frame here, looking at this on the RSI, we're at the same points we found resistance before. So could we find turbulence here? Sure. I would still think we move up a little bit higher first. Stochastic suggests it, and the MACD suggests it too. So let's call for that. Let's call for a little bit higher. Come on now. Let's see. High to low. We'll take the high here and put it down at the low here. Yeah. Let's go a little bit higher. Let's go up to 0.00232. And if we don't stop at 0.00232, it's because we continued pushing to the 382 up here. Typically, you do wick a little bit above it. Imagine you find a resistance point right there at about 0.025 to 0.0246. And if you do, that's actually right in line here with these lower highs, lower lows. You're kind of going from the base of the channel to the top of the channel, right? So that actually makes sense. And going right above the 382, that's what I'm calling for. Turbo probably goes up to about 0.0246 to 0.0252, whatever, something in that zone. Finds resistance, pulls back to the 236, and then continues to build. That's what I'm going with right now. Because I do think that you're setting up for something, some kind of a reversal here. Daily time frame, yes, you've moved down a little bit, but you do have bullish divergence. Look at that. Oh, wow, that's perfect. We should have led with this. You guys, turbo is due. Look at this. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Man, the 1 hour, I guess, is not getting close to cooling off. It's just getting started. The 4 hour was telling the truth a little bit more, and the daily really, look at this. This is perfect. You guys remember on x.com? You remember my post? Let's see. I made a post like this saying, please find me something with a MACD that looks like this one, okay? But before the bullish momentum kicks in. Well, this one, the bullish momentum has kicked in. We just haven't seen the results of that momentum. This is what we're talking about, man. This is perfect. Turbo's gonna rip here soon, you guys. Did Toshi have that? I don't think it did. I don't remember seeing that. Toshi. No. Not Toshi. Toshi. Kind of, but not even close. No, not even the same thing. This is bullish, guys. Turbo's going to, mark my words, Turbo is next on the chopping block for a pump. You're probably going to rally all the way up to where this high was, or even just above there, in tandem with this trend line here. So something at about 0.034 to 0.0312. Mark my words. Turbo's due for like a 40 to 60% pump, potentially over the coming week. Turbo Nights out there, you're about to get a 40 to 60% pump into the beginning of this month of November. That's my expectation for you. Great. Good job. You deserve it. You look great. The RSI is bouncing off the oversold zone there. The stochastics are coming out of the oversold zone. All good signs. I'm telling you right now, guys. We've been batting. I think we've been batting 1,000 on this for the past month that we've made these calls. Okay. Like really, we've been doing very well with these little MACD bullish reversals here. Okay, I mean, you had one of these setups before, kind of. It's not as perfect as it looks here, but kind of like right here, you had that setup, and you had a nice little move here, and that brought you to the high points, these lower high points here of this range. I'm just calling for the same thing here. It's a little bit bigger of a move because you're exaggerated to the downside, but I think that you're going to move up to about 0.0033 from here within the next week. That's my expectation. Maybe not by the end of this week, right? Because this week has a day and 9 hours left, but by the end of next week, I think we're there. I really do think we're there. That's awesome. Turbo inevitably will see new all-time highs, okay? We're expecting it to see new all-time highs. Now, will you see new all-time highs by the end of November? That's a different question. Maybe. By the end of the year, I think so. But by the end of November, perhaps we're at about 0.085 to 0.0 or to about 1.1 cent, somewhere around there. Maybe we're all the way up. Maybe we are at new all-time highs. I would think new all-time highs are reserved for December and later. So something at about 2.7 cents to 6.2 cents ultimately is what we're thinking. I don't think this is our cycle ending area. I just think this is our next kind of stopping point. We'll probably get there either at the end of December or the end of January. 2.7 cents to 6.2 cents. Something on the lines of a 11x, 12x to a 27x. Something in that range there. Okay, that's what we're looking for. That's going to be the next move. You're consolidating in this overall area here, right? You've got this diamond pattern, diamond top. It's like a parallelogram. You're going to break out and send it all the way up there. That's my thoughts. I'm actually curious, what would the measure move of this pattern be? You know, we take the high to the low, put it at the breakout point, which really would have been here. That puts you at about 4 cents right there. So I bet you do go 4 cents or beyond by the end of this year. That's my expectation. If not by the end of the year, then by the end of January. But you look good. You look really good here. Absolutely you do. Weekly time frames are all cooled off, all ready to go, I think. MACD is the only thing giving me a little bit of a headache, but I'm not worried about it. The MACD on the daily time frame looks great. This is what we're leaning on here, guys, and I don't think it'll lead us astray. We'll see. Is there another example of this happening? Kind of like right here. That's actually a good example. Let's see. Okay, here, look at this, right? You're in a bit of a downtrend here too. You had lower lows and lower highs. You had your MACD tapering off just like this, okay? And you actually broke out of the range. Inevitably, you went back down. Sure, it's not the best example, right? We're expecting continuation and productive movement after this. But with that impression, might it be possible that we go above where I'm thinking? You know, high here to a low here. Perhaps you don't stop at 0033. Perhaps you do just push on to about 0044 to 0048 over the next week, right? This, again, this breakout target, the results of this MACD, I think are going to come in over the next week or so. Spectacular. Good growth coming your way, Turbonites. And Toshinites, Toshibas, the good growth is coming too. I just think Turbo's in a more prime position to pop here. So I got nothing else. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. Take care of yourselves, all right? Bye-bye.